All right, so this will be on page 86 of your handy dandy notebook. So we're modeling with quadratic functions, aka quadratic regressions. Essentially what we're going to be doing is we're given a set of data and we're going to model that, okay? So how can you create a quadratic equation given at least 3 points? Well, given at least 3 points, these are the steps we're going to follow. So in our Desmos, we're going to be doing this. So step 1, we are going to start a new Desmos. If you have multiple, you should already have a blank Desmos. Then we're going to start a new blank group and create a table. Okay. Then we're going to put in our values and then we're going to find the regression model. Now, how you type it in is very important. So if you can see how it's typed in, if it's hard to read or whatever, you may want to write over it, but it's Y1. I forgot what the squiggle line is called, so we're just going to call it a squiggle line right now. Y1 squiggle line, AX 1 squared plus BX1 plus C. Okay, and we're going to go over how to put in the upper script and the lower script as we type it in. And then you're going to press enter. And after you do this, then it'll tell you what your A, your B, and your C are, and then you can write your quadratic regression. Okay. So you're literally just following these 4 steps and typing what you see on in the 4 steps. So the highlighted things, if it's hard for you to read on your paper, I say you may want to write them bigger, but that's the key thing. What is highlighted is key to typing in. All right. So we have the problem here. A parabola contains the points 0, -2, -1, 5, and 2, 2. What is the equation of the parabola in standard form? Okay. So step 1 is we're going to make a table. So we're going to make our table. So we have 0, -2, we have -1 and 5, and we have 2 and 2. Turn your paper over. Yeah. All right. Okay, so we made the table. Now we're going to go to Desmos and follow the steps that it says to follow. Those 4 steps we're going to follow in Desmos. So I'm going to switch to Desmos. So I'm at Desmos. It says I'm going to click the plus sign and I'm going to add a table. So at Desmos, I click the plus sign and I add a table following the steps in our notes. And I'm going to input my values, and my values were 0, -1, +2 were my x's, and my y values are -2, 5, and 2. I'm going to pause right here so that we all can get to the same screen. Okay, so now you're just going to click in the box, the second box. And in the second box, you're going to type in exactly what it says. You're typing in Y1 squiggle line. I didn't mean to be capitalized. Y1 squiggle line. Instead of an equal sign, you put that. And you're next to the 1, guys, on your keyboard. And then you're going to type in AX 1, and you want to make this a square. So either use your keyboard and you see the little square. So again, all I did to get the square was click on the keyboard, click the square. And then I have plus BX1 plus C. Okay, that's it. And do you see how it created the quadratic for you? Does everyone have the U? If you don't have the U, that means you haven't finished it or you missed out on your 2. Okay, so that's what you're doing. So then now you know what your A, your B, and your C are. So what's our A? Our A equals 3. What's our B? And our C is -2. Do I have everything I need to write the equation now? Yes. So I can write the equation because I know what everything is. I know that A equals 3. I know that B equals -4. And I know that C equals -2. So our equation is 3x squared minus 4x minus 2. And that would be your answer. Exactly, that every single time. That's the formula every single time, okay? All right, so we're gonna try again. So our second example, we have a soccer player kicks a ball. I forgot my F. Off the top of a building. His friend records the height of the ball at each second. Some of her data appears in the table. What is the quadratic model? And then we're gonna fill in the rest of the table, okay? So our 3 points, do we have at least 3 points given to us? Yes. So we have at least 3 points given to us. So these are the 3 that we're going to put into our table. Does that make sense? So, because it has an X and a Y, it has an independent and a dependent variable. I can't use any of the other ones because they don't have a dependent variable. Do we see that? All right. So we're going to go to our table. We're going to start it over. Let me go back to my Desmos. I'm going to start new. So you click this, the little 3 lines, and I just want to start a new blank graph. I'm going to add my table. And now in my table, I'm putting in 0, 1, and 5 for X. And I'm putting in 112, 192 for my Y1s. And I'm going to type in the expression, the regression model expression, just as is. Y1 squiggle line, AX1 squared plus BX1 plus C. I can't see my quadratic because it's zoomed in so far, but it's just the values are higher than what it is. This is an example of how to change your settings. So if I can't see my graph, that means I have to change the domain and range of my graph that I'm looking at. So here, I know that it's 0, 112. So it's going up pretty high. So on the x-axis, I'm probably from, let's say, 0, not 0, -5, who knows? We can work our way up to 10. And you can change what you're going to count by. On the y-axis, I'm going from 0, and my highest is, or I'm at 192, so let's say to 200. And then I still don't see it. So this is an example, again, of how you can modify your window by typing instead of just zooming in and out. We'll put it at 300, and I'm gonna count by 50s. And bam, I see a parabola. Do you see a parabola? So this is where the soccer player, she was standing here at the top of the building. And when she kicked the ball, it went pew, and then it came back down. For anybody, how about that? Haters. All right. So again, this is an example of how you can modify your window by typing in what you need, okay? All right, so we now know what's our equation. Our A is -16, our B is 96, and our C is 112. Okay, I'll come in a second. Okay, so now that you have that, when you are trying to figure out what the rest of the values are, you can either graph it, you can click on the graph and find those other points. So if I needed to know what 2 is, I can go to 2 and it says 2 is somewhere here. What is 2? 240. So I know that at 2, it should be 240. I also need to know the value of 3, and 3 is my what? What is it called? What is this part of the graph called? Well, it's at my axis of symmetry, so it's my vertex, right? I have a max vertex at 3, 256. I can keep scrolling on the graph. I need to go to 4, so I'm going to go to 4. And what do I get at 4? I get 240. I need to go to 6. What do I get at 6? $112. And I need to go to 7, and 7 is 0, which means that the ball is back on the what? The ground, right? If I'm at 0 feet, that means the ball is on the ground. Huh? So it's right there. 3, 256. All right, so we had 2 at 240. We had 3 at 256, 4 at 240. We had 6 at 112. So we know that this is our max vertex. And we know that this means that it's back on the ground. That's where the ball is at. So after 7 seconds, the ball fell to the ground. Oh, sorry. And our equation was -16x squared plus 96x plus 112. All right. How do we feel about regression models? Doable? You're going to forget all of this stuff. That's what the notes are for. All right. So looking at the regression model, you have practice problems that you're going to do in Desmos, because the only way you're going to get used to putting it in and following those steps are by going through Desmos, or by doing it. So on your 4th, 6 weeks, you either can click on your calendar, or you can see it right here where it says 5-3 classwork / homework. I'm going to click on it. And you have practice. So you are given the point and you're going to find the regression. Okay. So that becomes second nature to you. So that Y1 squiggle line, AX1, 2 plus BX plus C becomes second nature. Okay. Questions, comments, concerns? So are we going to do the back or the steps, baby? All right. So get to practicing.